20 underrated 70s and 80s R&B groups you forgot existed. Did you know there are some R&B groups from the 70s and 80s that many people have forgotten about? From the Sylvers, who gave us the catchy song HotLine, to the Deele, known for their slow jam, Two Occasions. Here are 20 underrated 70s and 80s R&B groups you forgot existed. Blue Magic. Blue Magic was a talented American R&B group formed in the early 1970s. Randy Kane, who was once part of the Delphonics, met singer-songwriter Ted Mills, and together they began forming the band. Soon after, 4 singers from a group called Shades of Love, Keith Beaton, Richard Pratt, Vernon Sawyer, and Wendell Sawyer, auditioned and joined. The group's smooth harmonies were backed by a skilled studio band called MFSB. In 1973, Blue Magic released their first single, Spell, which quickly rose to number 30 on the Billboard R&B chart. People loved their soft, dreamy songs and graceful dance moves. Their second song, Look Me Up, became popular on the disco scene and stayed on the charts for 11 weeks. However, it was their emotional ballad, Stop to Start, that had more success, reaching number 14 on the R&B chart. The biggest breakthrough for Blue Magic came with the song Sideshow in 1974. This song was a massive success, selling over 1 million copies. It reached number 8 on the general music charts and topped the R&B chart. The band continued its success with the album 13 Blue Magic Lane in 1975, featuring popular tracks like We're on the Right Track and Chasing Rainbows. Due to their success, Blue Magic was celebrated in 1975 as the best new group, earning 2 Ebony Awards presented by famous artists Aretha Franklin and Vanity. During their peak years, they shared stages with big names like the Jacksons, Lionel Richie, Marvin Gaye, and Earth, Wind and Fire, making them well-loved performers of their time. However, by the late 1970s, music tastes were changing, and disco became more popular, causing Blue Magic's fame to fade. They kept making music, but without significant chart success. Changes in record labels and members also affected their popularity. Richard Pratt left the group in the early 1980s, and a new lead singer, Rod Wayne, joined and stayed until 2004. Sadly, Rod Wayne passed away in 2016, followed by Richard Pratt in 2022 and Keith Beaton in early 2023. The Floaters. The Floaters were an American R&B vocal group from Detroit, Michigan. They formed in 1976 at the Sojourner Truth Housing Projects, a neighborhood known for nurturing musical talent. James Mitchell, previously from another group called the Detroit Emeralds, started the Floaters along with his brother Paul Mitchell, Larry Cunningham, Charles Clark, and Ralph Mitchell. The group quickly caught people's attention with their smooth voices and charming style. Their big breakthrough came in 1977 with a song called Float On. It was unique because each band member introduced himself by name, his zodiac sign, and described his ideal romantic match. This creative approach struck a chord with listeners everywhere. Float On climbed rapidly, hitting number 1 on the R&B charts in the United States, reaching number 2 on the overall Billboard charts, and even topping the charts in the United Kingdom. Though the Floaters had this major success, their later songs, such as You Don't Have to Say You Love Me, didn't quite reach the same heights. They continued to make music, releasing 4 albums over the next several years. Interestingly, Float On continued to influence artists long after the group's peak. The comedic duo Cheech and Chong did a humorous parody titled Bloat On. Sesame Street even made a playful version called Gimme 5. British comedy group The Barron Knights also parodied it, and hip-hop group Stetsasonic covered the song too. Sadly, 2 key members have passed away. Larry Cunningham died in 2019 at age 67, and Paul Mitchell passed in 2021 at age 72. Despite not always getting the recognition they deserved, the Floaters remain an important yet underrated part of R&B history. The Sylvers. The Sylvers were an American R&B family vocal group from Los Angeles, California. They first started performing in the 1970s. But even before they were called the Sylvers, the four oldest siblings, Olympia, Leon, Charmaine, and James, were known as the Little Angels. As the Little Angels, they performed on TV shows such as You Bet Your Life and Make Room for Daddy, and opened shows for famous performers like Johnny Mathis and Ray Charles. Eventually, the siblings signed a record deal with MGM and changed their group's name to the Sylvers. Between 1972 and 1974, the group released 3 albums simply titled The Sylvers, The Sylvers 2, and The Sylvers 3. Leon Sylvers was particularly talented at songwriting, and he wrote several soulful tracks for the group. One of these, called Fool's Paradise, became quite popular, reaching number 14 on the R&B charts in 1972. In early 1973, Leon wrote an upbeat song titled Misdemeanor for their second album. This song quickly gained popularity on R&B radio stations. Interestingly, Misdemeanor later found new life in the late 1980s and 1990s when it was sampled by rapper Dr. Dre for the song It's Funky Enough by the D.O.C. Following the success of Misdemeanor, the younger siblings Foster, Angie, and Pat officially joined the group, increasing the total number of Sylvers members to 9. They returned to Capitol Records, the same label they were with as Little Angels, and teamed up with renowned producer Freddie Perrin, who had worked closely with the Jackson 5. However, as the early 1980s rolled in and musical tastes shifted away from dance and disco, the Sylvers struggled to maintain their popularity. In 1981, 5 of the siblings recorded an album called Concept for Solar Records, with Leon Sylvers producing and playing bass, though he didn't sing on it. The single Comeback Lover Comeback, featuring Foster Sylvers on lead vocals, had modest success, but a second single from that album failed to chart. After a 3-year break, in 1984, 6 members regrouped with Charmaine, returning under new management, and signed with Geffen Records to release an album titled Bizarre. Unfortunately, this album didn't get much attention, although 2 singles, In One Love and Out the Other, and Falling for Your Love, charted modestly. In June 1985, tragedy struck the family when their youngest brother, Christopher, who never performed publicly with the group, passed away from hepatitis at only 18 years old. Later that same year, due to disappointing album sales and lack of widespread success, the Sylvers officially disbanded. Despite the breakup, members continued to work in the music industry, providing backing vocals for well-known artists, including Janet Jackson. Edmund Sylvers died of lung cancer in 2004 at the age of 47. Foster attempted solo and group projects, but never gained much recognition. Pat Sylvers also continued singing, contributing vocals to a gospel duet in 2007. Black Ivory. Black Ivory was an R&B group featuring talented singer-songwriter Leroy Burgess, alongside Stuart Bascom and Russell Patterson. They started out in the early 1970s, guided by their manager Patrick Adams, an executive at the Today/Perception record label. Leroy Burgess was usually the group's lead singer during their early successful years. Black Ivory was best known for their sweet, soulful ballads, even though they did try recording faster-paced songs. Their very first album, Don't Turn Around, came out in 1972 and quickly became a hit, staying on the Billboard R&B Albums chart for 19 weeks and reaching as high as number 13. The album featured memorable songs like Don't Turn Around, You and I, and I'll Find a Way, The Loneliest Man in Town. Each of these singles gained popularity on the R&B charts, with Don't Turn Around and You and I both making it into the top 40. Some of their other popular tracks included Time is Love, Spinning Around, and Will We Ever Come Together. The group even performed on famous TV shows like Soul Train and the PBS show Soul in the early 1970s. Back in 1974, Billboard magazine writer Bob Ford praised them as one of the most promising new groups in R&B music. Despite their talent, when the music world shifted towards disco later in the 1970s, Black Ivory had trouble competing. They created up-tempo disco songs such as Big Apple Rock, Walking Downtown, On a Saturday Night, and Mainline. Mainline later became one of their notable disco-style hits. Eventually, Leroy Burgess left Black Ivory in 1977, but Stuart Bascombe and Russell Patterson continued as a duo until they officially ended the group in the early 1980s. However, the story didn't stop there. In 1995, the original trio reunited and began performing again on the classic soul circuit. Though Black Ivory might not be widely remembered today, they left behind a collection of beautiful songs that still resonate with fans who recall the soulful era of 1970s and 1980s R&B. The Delphonics. The Delphonics were an American R&B and soul group from Philadelphia who became well known in the late 1960s and early 1970s. They created smooth, romantic music that captured people's hearts. Some of their most famous songs included La La Means I Love You, Didn't I, Blow Your Mind This Time, Break Your Promise, I'm Sorry, and Ready or Not, Here I Come, Can't Hide from Love. These unforgettable songs were mostly written by the group's lead singer, William Poogie Hart, along with their talented producer and arranger, Tom Bell. Their songs weren't just hits on the radio, they also made their way into movies and video games. Quentin Tarantino featured two Delphonics classics, La La Means I Love You, and Didn't I, Blow Your Mind This Time, in his 1997 movie, Jackie Brown. The video game Grand Theft Auto V even included their songs Ready or Not, Here I Come, Can't Hide from Love, and Funny Feeling. In the mid-1970s, things began to change for the Delphonics. Around 1974, one of their members, Major Harris, started his solo career and found success with his 1975 hit, Love Won't Let Me Wait, which reached #1 on the R&B charts. By 1975, the original group split into two separate groups, one featuring Major Harris, Wilbert Hart, and new member Frank Washington. The other led by William Hart with different new members. This created some confusion among fans, as members frequently moved between groups. Even though they split, the members continued making music. William Hart toured with a group featuring members Johnson and Fleming, while Wilbert Hart toured separately with Branch and Salam. In 2007, William Hart teamed up with two other famous soul singers, Russell Tompkins Jr. from the Stylistics and Ted Mills from Blue Magic, to form a new project called The Three Tenors of Soul, releasing an album produced by Bobby Eli. Sadly, Randy Kane passed away in 2009, Major Harris in 2012, and William Hart in 2022. Wilbert Hart is now the only original member still alive. Despite being less talked about today, the Delphonics remain a crucial part of R&B history. The Whispers. The Whispers are an American vocal group from Los Angeles, California. They first became known in the early 1970s after signing with a small Los Angeles label called Soul Clock, run by producer Ron Carson. Their first breakthrough came in 1970 with the hit song, Seems Like I Got to Do Wrong. Soon after, the group moved to the bigger Janus label in New York. Although Carson continued to produce their music for a while, eventually the Whispers began recording mostly in Philadelphia, where they worked with talented songwriters like Alan Felder, Norman Harris, Bunny Sigler, and Ronnie Baker. These writers helped create memorable songs such as A Mother for My Children and Bingo. In 1978, the Whispers signed with Solar Records, owned by Dick Griffey. With Solar, they saw even bigger success. Their song, And the Beat Goes On, became hugely popular, reaching #1 on the dance charts in 1979 and #2 in the UK. Another hit, It's a Love Thing, reached #9 on UK charts in 1981. Later in 1987, their catchy song, Rock Steady, climbed all the way to #1 on the R&B charts and reached #7 on the overall US Billboard charts. As the years passed, the group faced some challenges. Marcus Hudson, a longtime member, had to leave the group in 1992 due to prostate cancer, and he sadly passed away in 2000. Out of respect and friendship, the other members decided never to replace him and continued performing as a quartet. In 1993, their keyboard player, Jerry McNeil, stepped away to spend more time with his family. Despite these changes, the Whispers stayed active, creating their own production company, Satin Tie Productions. Through their own label, they released an independent album in 2006 called For Your Ears Only. Their impressive musical legacy was recognized in 2014 when they were inducted into the National Rhythm and Blues Hall of Fame. Sadly, 2 more founding members have passed away. Nicholas Caldwell died in 2016, and Gordy Harmon passed away in 2023. Atlantic Starr. Throughout the late 1970s and early 1980s, Atlantic Starr scored several hits on the R&B charts. Their big moment came with the release of their album As the Band Turns, which included the hit love song Secret Lovers. At that point, the group had slimmed down to 5 members, the 3 Lewis brothers, Joseph Phillips, and Barbara Weathers. In 1987, they reached the height of their popularity after signing with Warner Brothers Records. That year, they released the romantic ballad Always, which became a #1 hit on both the pop and R&B charts. This song made them widely known outside the R&B world and remains one of their most beloved tracks. After the success of Always, Barbara Weathers left to start a solo career. She was replaced by Portia Martin, who sang with the group on their 1989 album We're Movin' Up. While the album didn't do as well as their earlier work, it still gave them another #1 R&B hit, My First Love. Atlantic Starr continued to stay active into the early 1990s. In 1991, the band welcomed a new female lead singer, Rachel Oliver, who had previously held the title of Miss Black America in 1986. With her, they released the album Love Crazy, which included their biggest hit of the 1990s, Masterpiece. The song climbed to #3 on both the R&B and pop charts in 1992. However, not long after, their time with Warner Brothers came to an end. In 1994, they recorded one final album for Arista Records called Time, but it didn't perform well, and its main single, I'll Remember You, barely cracked the top 50. While the group slowly faded from the mainstream spotlight, many of its members continued their music careers. Drummer and founding member Porter Carroll Jr. released a solo album in 1986. Saxophonist Damon Renty and trumpeter William Sudderth pursued solo projects and became respected figures in the music scene, especially Sudderth, who became a sought-after horn player. If you are enjoying this video, appreciate it by giving it a thumbs up, and if you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. The SOS Band. The SOS Band is an American R&B and electro-funk group that made a big impact in the 1980s, even though many people may have forgotten them today. The group came together in Atlanta, Georgia in 1977. It started with keyboardist and singer Jason Bryant, saxophonists Billy Ellis and Willie Killebrew, guitarist Bruno Spite, bassist John Alexander Simpson, drummer James Earl Jones III, and lead singer Mary Davis. Their first album, SOS, was a big success. It sold over 800,000 copies and reached #2 on the R&B charts, staying there for 3 weeks. This album went gold and helped launch their career. Their second album, 2, came out in 1981 and reached #30 on the R&B charts. Then came their third album, 3, where they began working with producer Leon Sylvers III and 2 young songwriters who would become legends, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. The song High Hopes from that album reached #25 on the R&B chart. Things really took off when Jam and Lewis took full control of producing their next album, On the Rise. It featured 2 big hits. Just Be Good to Me reached #2, and Tell Me If You Still Care hit #5 on the R&B chart. The album itself went gold and reached #7 on the R&B charts in 1983. The band kept the momentum going. In 1984, they released Just the Way You Like It, which included another top 10 R&B single of the same name. In 1986, they dropped Sands of Time, which featured The Finest, a song that made it to number 2 on the R&B charts. This album also went gold. Many of their songs helped popularize the sound of the Roland TR-808 drum machine, which became a major part of 80s R&B and funk. In late 1986, lead singer Mary Davis left the group to start a solo career. Around the same time, founding saxophonist Billy Ellis passed away while they were working on their next album, Diamonds in the Raw, which charted at number 43 on the R&B list. In 1991, they released another album called One of Many Nights, now with singer Chandra Corelli and producer Curtis Williams. Unfortunately, it didn't chart. Later on, Mary Davis returned to the group, and they continued to tour and perform live. Although the SOS band may not be as widely remembered as some of their peers, their smooth ballads, dance grooves, and groundbreaking production helped shape the sound we are hearing today. Loose Ends. Loose Ends was one of the best British R&B bands in the 1980s and early 1990s. The group was started by Steve Nicol, who had just left the London Guildhall School of Music and Drama. After leaving school, Nicol toured with the popular British band The Jam, playing trumpet, trombone, and keyboard. Not long after, he helped form Loose Ends. Their breakthrough came in 1985 with a smooth and catchy song called Hangin' on a String, Contemplating. The song became a big hit in the UK, reaching number 13 on the charts. But what made history was its success in the United States. It reached number 1 on the Billboard R&B chart. This made Loose Ends the first black British group ever to top that chart in America. That same year, they had another hit with Magic Touch, which reached number 16 in the UK. The band had started working with American producers by then, which helped them shape their sound. In 1986, they released Slow Down, another fan favorite that was even used as the theme song for a Canadian TV show called Soul in the City. Even though their sales started to drop later on, Loose Ends still had success with one more international hit in 1988 called Watching You, Watching Me. In 1990, things changed for the group. Steve Nicol and Jane Eugene decided to leave because the band was heading in a new musical direction. They were replaced by 2 new members, Linda Carriere and Sunay Suleiman. With this new lineup, they released their last album, Look How Long. It included the song Don't Be a Fool, which became their final hit. After that, Carl McIntosh stayed with the group's name and continued working behind the scenes as a producer. He went on to produce music for several artists, including Karen Wheeler, Ruth Joy, and Kwesi. Loose Ends may not be talked about as much today, but they left a lasting mark on both British and American R&B. The Mary Jane Girls. Their first album, Mary Jane Girls, came out in 1983 and was an instant hit in the R&B world. It featured songs like Candyman, All Night Long, and Boys. All Night Long became especially popular and was even featured years later in the video game Grand Theft Auto: Vice City. After their first album, Cherry Wells left the group and was replaced by Yvette Marine, the daughter of singer Patty Brooks. In 1985, the Mary Jane Girls released their second album, Only For You. JoJo McDuffie sang lead vocals on almost every song, while the background vocals were performed by professional studio singers, the Water Sisters, since the other group members weren't strong singers. The album's lead single, In My House, became the group's biggest hit. It climbed to number 3 on the R&B chart, reached number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100, and stayed in the top 40 for 12 weeks. It also hit number 1 on the dance chart. The second single, Wild and Crazy Love, also did well, reaching number 10 on the R&B chart and number 3 on the dance chart. The third single, Break It Up, didn't do as well, but still made it to number 39 on the dance charts. that sat on the shelf for decades before finally being released in 2014 as part of a Rick James collection. However, 2 singles from that album were released in 1986. The second song, Shadow Lover, was performed on Soul Train, but by 1987, things were falling apart. Rick James was having issues with Motown, and the group officially broke up in 1987. DeBarge. DeBarge was an American R&B group made up of siblings from the DeBarge family. They were active mainly between 1979 and 1989 and became known for their smooth voices, catchy love songs, and family harmonies. The original members were Elle, Mark, Randy, and Bunny. A year later, their brother James joined the group for their second album. In 1987, another brother, Bobby, came on board after Bunny and Elle had left for solo careers. They released 6 studio albums, most of them under Motown's Gordy Records label. Their music included hits from albums like The DeBarges, All This Love, In a Special Way, and Rhythm of the Night. Rhythm of the Night became their biggest success. The title song reached number 3 on the U.S. pop charts and became the group's most popular single. As the mid-1980s rolled in, Elle and Bunny both left the group to pursue solo careers. Without them, the group changed. Mark, Randy, and James continued, joined by Bobby. They signed with a smaller label, Stripe Horse Records, and released their final album, Bad Boys, in 1987. The group kept performing for a couple more years, but behind the scenes, trouble was growing. In 1988, Bobby and another brother, Chico, were arrested in Grand Rapids, Michigan for drug trafficking. They were both convicted and sent to prison. This event marked the end of DeBarge as a group. By 1989, the band had officially broken up. Despite the drama, DeBarge left behind a strong musical legacy. They had 9 top 40 R&B singles, 5 pop hits, and even charted at number 1 on the R&B, dance, and adult contemporary charts. Their songs, especially love ballads like All This Love and upbeat hits like Rhythm of the Night, are still remembered by many fans of 80s music. The Gap Band. The Gap Band was an American R&B and funk group that became popular in the late 1970s and 1980s. The group was made up of 3 brothers, Charlie, Ronnie, and Robert Wilson, along with a few other musicians who helped shape their energetic sound. Their first taste of success came in 1979 with the songs I'm in Love and Shake. Shake became a top 10 hit on the R&B charts. That same year, they released the funky track I Don't Believe You Want to Get Up and Dance, Oops, from their album The Gap Band 2. It reached number 4 on the R&B charts and helped the album go gold. Their music style during this time took inspiration from the wild, colorful sound of P-Funk, full of synthesizers, grooves, and fun spoken parts in the songs. In 1980, the group reached a new level of fame with the release of The Gap Band 3. That album had a perfect mix of smooth love songs and energetic funk hits. Yearning for Your Love became a romantic R&B favorite, reaching number 5 on the R&B charts, while Burn Rubber, Why You Wanna Hurt Me, shot to number 1. They continued their winning streak with Gap Band 4 in 1982. This album was full of hits, including Early in the Morning, You Dropped a Bomb on Me, and Outstanding. All 3 became fan favorites and R&B chart toppers. In 1983, they released Gap Band 5, Jammin', which also did well, though not quite as big as earlier albums. Songs like Party Train and Jam the Mother kept them high on the R&B charts. One of the album's special moments was the song Someday, which featured legendary singer Stevie Wonder. By 1985, the band released Gap Band 6, which again hit number 1 on the R&B chart, but didn't sell as well as before. Still, it had hits like Beep a Freak and I Found My Baby. They followed up with Gap Band 7 in 1986, which included their soulful version of Going in Circles. That song reached number 2 on the R&B charts, but overall, the album didn't make much impact on the mainstream pop charts. Their final major chart success came in 1989 after signing with Capitol Records. The song All of My Love reached #1 on the R&B chart, and other songs like Addicted to Your Love and We Can Make It All Right also charted well. But by the early 1990s, the band slowed down. They left their label and took a break from recording. In the 1990s, the Gap Band released a few more albums and live recordings, but they didn't make it onto the charts like before. Although they're not often mentioned today, their fun, high-energy songs and romantic ballads made them one of the most exciting groups of their time. Brainstorm. Brainstorm was an American funk and R&B band that came out of Detroit, Michigan in the late 1970s. Even though their time in the spotlight was short, they made a big impact with their powerful music and unforgettable grooves. Their debut album, Stormin', was released in 1977 under Taboo Records and became their most successful project. The album's biggest hit was a disco track called Lovin' Is Really My Game. This song got people dancing everywhere and even ended up in the movie 54, starring Mike Myers. It was so popular that it won Billboard's 1978 Light Radio/Heavy Disco Record of the Year. Another standout song from the same album was This Must Be Heaven, a slow, emotional track that became a soul classic. Even decades later, it's still played on R&B radio stations. The original members of Brainstorm brought a wide range of talent. Belita Woods sang lead vocals with power and soul. Charles Overton led the band and played saxophone. Lamont Johnson played a smooth, fretless bass and sang on This Must Be Heaven. Other members included Renel Gonsalves on drums, Treaty Womack on vocals and flute, Bob Ross on keyboards, Gerald Kent on guitar, Gerald Bright on trombone, and Larry Sims on trumpet. After Stormin', Brainstorm released more music, including singles like On Our Way Home and Hot for You. Even though Brainstorm didn't stay together for long, many of its members went on to do big things in the music world. Belita Woods later toured the world with Parliament Funkadelic, one of the most famous funk bands of all time. Larry Sims joined the award-winning gospel group Sounds of Blackness, which earned 2 Grammy Awards in the 1990s. Gerald Bright played trombone with the funk group Cameo for over 25 years. Midnight Star. Midnight Star was an American R&B and funk group that lit up the music scene in the 1980s. Even though many people don't talk about them today, they were once one of the most exciting and creative groups in R&B, mixing old-school soul with futuristic sounds. The group got started with their debut album, The Beginning, in 1980. Their second album, Standing Together, came out in 1981 and started to get attention, landing at number 54 on the U.S. R&B chart. In 1982, they released another album called Victory. With bandleader Reggie Calloway producing, they started climbing the charts with songs like Hotspot and I've Been Watching You. Around this time, drummer Bobby Lovelace joined the group, which allowed guitarist Belinda Lipscomb to focus more on singing and performing. Their big moment came in 1983 with the release of No Parking on the Dance Floor. This album changed everything. It mixed R&B, funk, and electronic effects like the vocoder. The album went double platinum and became a huge hit. One of the biggest songs from the album was Freakazoid, which hit number 2 on the R&B chart. It gave the group their signature style and helped them stand out. Other popular songs from the album included Wet My Whistle and No Parking on the Dance Floor. Even slower tracks like Slow Jam, which was co-written by a young Babyface, received a lot of radio play. They followed this success with another hit album in 1984 called Planetary Invasion. It had the same high-energy sound and included the song Operator, which became their only song to break into the Billboard Top 40 and also reached number 1 on the R&B chart. In 1986, they released Headlines, another gold-selling album. But behind the scenes, things were changing. The Calloway brothers, Reggie and Vincent, left the group due to creative differences. Midnight Star kept going without them and released 2 more albums, Midnight Star and Work It Out. These albums didn't reach the same level of success as their earlier work, but the songs Don't Rock the Boat and Snake in the Grass still made it into the R&B top 10. Though they went on a long break and weren't often in the spotlight anymore, Midnight Star never officially broke up. The Deeles. The Deele was an American R&B group that found success in the 1980s, though many people have forgotten how important they once were. The Deele not only made great music as a group, but also launched the careers of 2 music legends, Babyface and L.A. Reid. The group started gaining attention in 1983 with their debut album, Street Beat. From that album came their first hit, Body Talk, which reached number 3 on the R&B chart and even made it onto the pop charts. This song gave the Deele their breakthrough moment. But after this success, one member, Burke, left the group before they recorded their next album. Their second album, Material Things, was released in 1985. It didn't do as well as the first, and the group went on a short break. During that time, Babyface released his first solo album, Lovers. In 1987, the Deele came back strong with their third album, Eyes of a Stranger. This was their biggest moment. It included 2 major R&B hits, Shoot 'Em Up Movies, and their most famous song, Two Occasions. Two Occasions became a classic love song, hitting number 4 on the R&B chart and making it into the top 10 of the Billboard Hot 100. Behind the scenes, members Babyface and L.A. Reid were starting to find success not just as performers, but also as songwriters and producers. Around this time, they wrote and produced Rocksteady for the Whispers, which became a huge hit. In 1988, after realizing how much success they could have as producers, Babyface and L.A. Reid left the Deele. A year later, they launched their own record label, LaFace Records, which would go on to become one of the most successful labels of the 1990s, but disbanded soon after. Which of these groups do you still listen to today? Let us know in the comments section. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out our next video for more contents.